Welcome back to Music Talk. I'm Dave. That's Mike.
Mike over here. Yeah. I'm here. Here I am. Yeah.
I might have even forgot to introduce us on the last one. I don't even remember. It's been so long because we're still trying to get back in the groove.
Doesn't matter.
So anyway. All right. Well, this week we're going to check out Billy Idol's latest EP. It's called The Cage. Looks like that. There's Billy himself. Got the same Billy Idol writing that he's always had. I like the cover, man. It's red and black and sticks out. It's got Billy. I mean, he's cool, right? When you're cool like Billy Idol, you can put yourself on the album cover. I know y'all are saying you always don't like people being on the album cover, but Billy Idol's cool, so he can do that.
I mean, hey, the Beatles are on a majority of theirs too.
Then you get this little psychedelic, breaking out of the cage thing, like he's twisting the bars. That's the way it looks on the inside as well. So it's not much to the CD because there's only 4 songs. You have the pamphlet. You got all the words here, all the songs, and then there's not a whole lot of musicians on here, but it's got everything that you could want to know about them.
Steve Stevens is still there playing
Steve
guitar.
Stevens. Yep. All songs were written by Billy and Steve, and then somebody else. So they got Tommy English and Joe Janiak, and then of course Sam Hollander and Grant Michaels are on the last one. It's a Billy Idol CD. It's 4 songs. You can't go wrong with 4 songs. I mean, right? That's like, it's genius to me to just put out EPs because you can't get tired of it. It's 4 songs. I mean, unless they all suck, anybody's going to like an EP, right? And this one, I mean, right off the bat, the song The Cage, it's actually called Cage. I think it's a great song. It's a great rocker. It's totally typical Billy Idol,
It's Billy Idol right down right down the middle. I mean, you got the 4 on the floor on the drums,
Yeah.
and it sounds like, I don't know when he did White Wedding who he had playing guitar on that, but
yeah.
I want to say it was Zach Wild or somebody.
No, Steve Stevens been with him the whole time. Yeah,
really, the whole time. But yes, same.
I mean,
it's great, man.
It is. I mean, when you turn it on, you're like, man, this sounds just like Billy Idol back in 1980.
Yep.
1985, right? I mean, his voice still sounds exactly the same.
Yep.
The guitars, everything. Production's great too, by the way. I gotta tell you, fantastic production.
Well, let me say this stuff. Wasn't he doing motocross? Motorcycles, doing all that crazy.
It's very possible.
Jumping and stuff. I think he got out of music to do it. I guess he's too old to do it now, so he's back in the music.
I don't really know. I didn't go back. I should have probably went and dug into him a little bit more personally. But as far as music wise, I mean, I used to dig his stuff back in the day, like Eyes Without a Face and Flesh for Fantasy and stuff like that. Those songs kick butt to me.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows White Wedding and Rebel Yell and all that stuff, but it was the ones that were deeper that I always dug.
Well, I always had a lot of respect for him, and when he came out, and I'm gonna do a cross reference here. When Billy Idol came out, when he first hit the scene, outlaw country was still pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with the 4 on the floor. If you listen to the drums on The Cage, it's just boom, 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 boom. It's like a wailing beat. It's with a good guitar,
punk rock singer, and
and a heavy metal guitar.
Heavy metal guitars. I mean, that's what else could you ask for with a Billy Idol record?
Exactly.
I mean,
it's like, there you go, man. You ain't got to listen to it hard to understand what's going on.
I mean, he came out, he was a punk rocker originally, and then he went to the harder rock and he found his groove, and man, I mean, he's been doing it since, and this one here is a prime example of it with The Cage. I mean, that sounds like you could have put it right on the Rebel Yell album.
Oh yeah.
And it's still rolling. Yeah.
I'd love to see some videos on this because that was a great video on White Wedding.
Yeah.
It was.
I've seen some of his live stuff not long ago, and he's fantastic live. Still sings it like he used to. He sweats like crazy, man. So don't get in the front row because he's going to sweat all over you. Uh, unless you want to, then you can, again, I think we might have talked about this in one of our other reviews where you got to bring like a sheet of plastic with you, kind of like you're going to see
Weird
Gallagher.
Al. Weird Al. Oh yeah, Gallagher. Yeah,
With
yeah.
Gallagher, because he's going to sweat so bad. But first song, Cage, great song, typical kick butt. Then we get to the second one, Running from the Ghost, which I really like this song. Starts out a little slow and then it just kicks you right in the face, right? And it's got this really cool guitar riff that and man, again, total Billy Idol.
Yep.
What more can you say? I
Oh
mean,
yeah. I mean, hey, it's it's just great to hear him back. He went through. He was supposed to be opening up for Journey,
yeah.
and he had to fall. He had to drop out of it, and that was right after he recorded this album. He had to go in and have sinus
Oh, really?
operations on his sinuses, and
You sure Journey
I guess
didn't say, man, this guy might blow us off the stage. We might want to. I'm just kidding.
yeah, well,
I'm just joking.
I mean, hey, Journey, that's a whole nother story with Journey.
It is.
I've got so many things to say about that, but
Yeah, but they just put one out too. We could always go check theirs out, but
I'm sure it's pretty good.
yeah, it's probably not bad. So,
It's to me, it's not Journey though.
nah,
It's
nope. So then we get to number 3, and this is called A Rebel Like You. Well, why else wouldn't you have a song on here about a rebel if you're talking about the original rebel himself, right? That's right. And this one's like, rebel like you, right? I mean, I finally found someone that's like me. I can see there it is, right? You're a rebel like me. Now, one thing about this song, I mean, this was more pop rock to me, but you guys heard me say this 100 times. I hate gang vocals, right? So at the end of the song, you're getting like me, like you, like me, like you. And it's like, oh, come on, man. But then I got to think, okay, it's Billy Idol. You're going to scream that stuff at his concert.
yeah.
And
He's going to get you to scream at him.
you're going to do the rebel yell. You're going to do
Wave
it.
the microphone out there and point at you, and if you ain't cooperating, he might throw something at you.
And for that, I'm not going to take off for the gang vocals on it. I'm not going to do it. Normally I would, but it's Billy Idol, the coolest cat around. He's still wearing his leather jacket. Even when he's sweating to death, he's still wearing that leather jacket.
Well, I mean, come on, man. You got to look at it like this too. Take Humble Pie for example. 30 Days in the Hole. You got to have crowd participation in that.
Yeah, I know.
30 days in the hole.
Well, I mean, there's nothing easier than yelling like me, like you. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, like you. Hey, make it simple. We're all going to yell it, man, and we all love it.
You got to hand it to him, though. I mean, that band pulls off the simple stuff and makes it interesting.
Yeah.
It's only 3-chord rock and roll, man. That's all it is.
Yep. And then Steve Stevens is ripping, man. He's a ripping guitar player too. So then we get to number 4, which I gotta say a little something about number 4. It's a weird disco type song to me, right? It's got this disco feel, and it's like really happy, kind of uplifting sounding song, right? I mean, you're listening to it, you're like disco, you're dancing and stuff, and then the words are about some woman who's like homeless and she's needing help, and he sits down and talks to her. She's like living in a shopping cart or next to a shopping cart, and it's a typical homeless person. She's been abused. She just needs a little help. But the song is like the happiest song you ever hear, but the words are the most depressing words that you could put with it. It's like, I mean, I was all happy and I'm jamming on it, and then I'm looking at the words and I'm going, wait a minute, I can't be happy to this song, right? I mean, I want to bob my head and have a good time, but then I'm reading these depressing words, and it's like,
Maybe
dang,
Jack,
Billy,
maybe Jack White should have sang it.
maybe it,
Hey, you know,
maybe
yeah,
it totally. I was like, man, because the first time I heard, it, I wasn't paying much attention. I'm rocking it. Cool disco beat. I'm happy. And then I sat down and started diving in. I'm like, yeah, these words aren't very happy.
right.
Doesn't match the song. Great song though,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, again, it's Billy Idol. But the words were really sad on this one.
yeah.
So so be prepared when you're bobbing your head that it's gonna it's gonna be a little depressing if you listen to the words. So
It's not
anyway,
an Irish pub song.
not an Irish pub song. Yep, you're right. But it was pretty cool too the way they did "I Miss Nobody." That's what she was kind of saying, that her name is Miss Nobody, and then she doesn't really miss nobody. You know, so it's like a little play on words there a little bit. But again, good song. So you had Butch Walker on here doing your production. Um, so to me, uh, it's a great Billy Idol record. It's 4 songs. You can't go wrong.
No, you can't
Uh,
go wrong.
I mean, we'll just, it ain't much more to say about it. So I'm just gonna
Well,
go ahead and give it a 7.9.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah.
The thing I'm gonna say about it is I was thinking, why was he doing an EP? Well, to me, the reason why he did an EP, he's testing the waters again.
Yeah, I think you're
Um,
right.
and so he didn't take a fistful of money and do this. I mean, he spent good money,
Hmm.
or his management did, or whatever. I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
4 songs, but I really can't see 10 or 11 songs
No.
and
Uh,
listen to it back to back. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
no.
it's Billy Idol. You got to throw it in a mix, you know?
I think you could probably pull another 3, 4 out maybe and do it, but just save it for another EP. I
Right.
think you're right about testing the water. He has been touring around and getting a very good response.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
so I
yeah.
think they were like, you know what, we need to throw something out there. And Steve Stevens is always in his studio working, you know. So they were probably like, well, look, we got these 4 cool songs right here. Let's go ahead and knock them out, put them out there. We'll
Mhm.
start playing them on this tour, whoever we're touring with, and
Right.
let's keep on rolling because I mean they were getting a very good reception on their tours lately,
Yeah,
and
well,
they didn't really have much new stuff. So
like I say, they were supposed to be opening for Journey, and they had to back out of it because he had to go in for his sinus operations. But
yeah,
he said, from what I read, he's back to normal and he's ready to get. He's actually touring again now.
yeah,
I don't know who he's opening up for, but I
right.
don't think he's going to be a headliner or anything. He will probably remain an opening act. Um,
Unless he does like some smaller venues.
yeah, well, what I'm saying is yeah. I mean, it's about where he's
Yeah.
gonna be. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get some record sales and stuff,
Hmm.
which is going to coat his pocket.
Yeah.
But he's not really going to advance any further than what you know the average working musician's doing out here in these nightclubs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he'll probably do a 500 or 1,000 seater
Yeah.
and be a headliner, but anything bigger than that, he's going to be an opening act.
Well, I hope he does another EP because I want to dig into his personal life a little bit. And maybe on the next one, when he puts out another one or something, we'll go into and look and see what he has been up to because he has been behind the scenes for a while. I mean, I don't know where he's been.
Well, I know I read something here, and it's been a few years back though. I read something about he was doing motocross and stuff like that, motorcycles,
I
and
don't doubt it.
doing that motocross racing, where they were doing
Right.
all those crazy jumps and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's got to be too freaking old to be doing that. I mean, he's probably about my age, you know.
He's
He
up
just
there.
has he just hasn't lost his hair, so he's able to keep it dyed blonde. And I mean,
That's
the hell.
true. That is true.
So
Uh,
I mean,
Yeah.
So my point is that number one, can't judge a book by its cover. And number two, you know, I'm sure, I'm pretty sure that that's what this is all about, is testing the water, see if there's
Yeah.
still a true market for sales.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I love the 4 songs. My wife's a big Billy Idol fan back in the day. Put it in the record, I mean, in the CD player, and she was bopping to it like it was the 80s, you know. So, I mean, it's just Billy Idol, man.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's not a whole lot you can say.
And I didn't even show you the CD, by the way. It's like this from Dark Horse Records. It's got a cool CD in
Dark
there.
Horse. Oh,
Yep, Dark Horse Records. Yep.
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's got like all the horse heads there. Pretty neat.
Yeah. George Harrison, I think, had a
Dark
Dark
Horse
Horse
could be.
reference.
Yeah, it could be. So
You
it
know,
could be similar, you know. So all right. Well, I gave it a 7.9. Mike gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.
It's a great little record, man. Great EP. It's perfect for him to put out, dude. I mean, it's a quick 4 songs. You can't go wrong with it. The
You're not gonna lose
Cage.
your mind. You're not gonna lose your mind.
Nope.
It don't take much to figure it out.
Nope.
You just
And you're not
bop
gonna
your head,
get bored, you
just
know,
bop your head and crack a beer and go.
and yell like me, like you.
Give it a rebel yell. Yahoo!
That's it. Billy Idol, The Cage. Y'all check it out. All right. Till next time. Y'all stay safe.
Peace out. Listen to the music.